Hello boys, Monorium here. Today with a Spellblade crit build. I wanted to try something else with Flame Reave, right? Checked out the end game again, looked at all the systems, and well, I wanted to get a good grasp on this game before I do a feedback-like video, right? So this one is a lot stronger than my last build. I will show you a bit of gameplay right now. So you stack up your Firebrand stacks with this one. I just need 3 to get the maximum value out of this one and press one button right here. And this one gets a big chunk of damage out and clears the whole screen, right? So very strong. So let's go to map. So I just started this monolith. As you can see, it's not very far in. I can do a start quest, but let's go with this one. So it's a level 80 monolith, nothing too fancy. Just to showcase this one, I will show you, right? So 1, 2, 3, and boom. A lot of damage, big chunk. A little bit weird versus bosses, right? But mapping is really strong. I can pop my damage cooldowns to gain a little bit more damage. As you can see, 32 hits. I have seen like 10k hits, but my gear is not very good. So let's grab this one. Whoop. As you can see, clears everything in one hit. Well, I think this one is on the other side, so let's go there. Not very complicated to play. It's a little bit weird when you level it up. I think Firebrand is at 30 skill points in the Spellblade tree, so that's taking it a bit longer. And the Firebrand node needs around level 17, I think, until it comes up and enables this one. So this time no one shot because I didn't press my cooldowns. Whoop. A lot of damage.
I cannot do that.
So that's... And there we go. So that's the monolith. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, don't forget to like and ring that bell. I would really appreciate it, and it would help grow my channel. So let's go, boys. Okay, so let's go over the skills. As you can see here, I have Flame Reave +1. So one more point. Let's put this one into the multiplier, because the more multiplier is a lot more value than the 3 melee damage right here. Not very strong at the moment because we get a lot of melee damage from other sources, so that's completely fine to take the more damage multiplier. I would even debate that the 3 points are not as valuable as the Arcane Severance here. That's 8% more damage, but depends. I didn't do the calculation, so that's that. So Flame Reave, pretty basic. You pick this one, versatility, to stack up your Rhythm of Fire with your Firebrand. Big chunk of damage. You convert it to lightning because we want shock on enemies. This one decreases their resistance and we deal a lot more damage. Next up, Flame Ward, basically just converting this one to lightning, a little bit of damage right here. So there's a damage cooldown and a defensive cooldown with those nodes. 32% less damage taken per hits and 30% less damage taken through elemental damage. And this one has 400 wards and less damage taken, so really strong cooldown. This one is basically just boosting our damage. It's 15% more elemental damage with every hit, so that's a really strong multiplier. And when we activate this one, we get 9 seconds of duration on this one for 50% more damage. That's really strong, and you really feel it. You can grab this one for increased damage right here. You get the attack speed extremely strong. You want the Thundering active right here, that's 25 melee damage, and I'm currently working towards getting this one, Celerity, and this one, Efficacy. Kindling Blade seems like a good option, but I want more control over this one. Since this one has a 15-second cooldown, and we only have 9 seconds uptime, we want to time this one a little bit better, right? Yeah, Firebrand, that's the interesting one. We take Pyro Shielding for the ward gain, but that's basically not very important. We grab the maximum stacks here, so we get 6 stacks. That's really, really strong because we get incineration, 20% more damage per stack consumed, right? So we stack this one to 6 stacks, it's 120% more damage, and we always crit at 3 stacks. Then we travel all the way around this one to get Conflagrate. So we stack 2 stacks per attack, so we only attack 3 times. This one correlates with our Rhythm of Fire. We want 3 attacks, and then a Flame Reave, so we get the maximum value out of this one. We also grab Fading Flame right here, 36 watt per stack consumed, so very, very strong. We stack a lot of watt, as you can see here. And well, that's about it. So that's our mobility spell. Teleport, we want the buffs right here. 3 resistances, stun avoidance, armor, 3 resistance, a little bit of mana efficiency since we don't use Mana Strike. Wormhole for less cooldown on our stuff, and elemental affinity for more damage. We want to pick time dilation so we can have more uptime on our buffs. Why not Surge? Because this node consumes on the next melee attack, so Surge consumes our stacks and deals more damage, but we want to reserve this one for our Flame Reave, so we want to use a spell for our mobility. Teleport is the best one. Our passives are very easy to go through. We basically pick a little bit of damage here, attack speed here, we want a reactive ward and 50% ward retention, that's really strong. There's 1 intelligence, intelligence gives us damage and also ward retention, so survivability, really strong. And for the Spellblade, we picked Infused Weapon, Arcane Ward, stuff like Essence Duel for the attack speed and the ward gain per hit. We picked Arcane Shielding for the decreased damage taken and ward per second for Arcane Shield. We picked 1 point into Shattered Aegis because we increase effectively our damage mitigation by 6%, so we have minus 16% damage taken, and that's just good. We picked Mana Reaver to just avoid using Mana Strike because we don't have many slots on our bar, and I think Enchant Weapon is better than Mana Strike, but you can also use Mana Regeneration to mitigate this one. So trade-offs, trade-offs, trade-offs. I think Enchant Weapon is fine and Mana Regeneration on gear is plentiful, so I pick Mana Regeneration. We take Gemini for dual wielding with swords, really strong. Prismatic Blade, Awestrike for the melee lightning damage, this one gives us a little bit of dexterity. Volka's Razor is always increasing our elemental damage with Flame Reave by 150%, and we pick 3 stacks of Blade Reave. All other points are going to Mental Fortitude for the ward, Intelligence and Prodigy for additional ward, right? So when I am finished with this one, there is 5 more points for Stormblade, and I think 7 points are still missing. Those 7 points can go wherever you want them to be. Okay, next up, I wanted to show you guys the Lootfilter. I created one. For this one, very easy to use. This one is enabling offhand for your leveling process when you don't dual wield, but I have it disabled because I'm using the same main hand and offhand. So a sword, right, just like this one. This one is available after 64. Before this one, you can use whatever you want. Oh, that's a nice one. Melee, ooh, that's a really, really strong one. Increased lightning damage. I think I would try to discard this one off, like the melee critical strike chance, because I don't really need it, right? I can craft this one later. Anyway, there is a lot of stuff here, but what you can do, the yellow color is for leveling, right? The blue color is for the suffixes, and the red color is for the prefixes, right? You can adjust the strictness right here. You can adjust the strictness right here. So there's a lot of strictness options you can do to not get flooded and just breeze through your maps, through your monoliths, and grab the loot you really, really need to have. And then let's go over the gear. This unique is the most important one, Sunwreath, because when we look at our Flame Reave, there is Worldfire right here. This one changes the effect of Flame Reave to be a cycle. But we can get this one really, really cheap on this ring. Increase our fire damage, not important, but gives us a lot of fire resistance. Gives us melee fire damage, not really important. Ignite, not really important, but Flame Reave hits expand in a cycle around you. And the cost is only increased by 6 instead of 20. The range decreases. So this one is really bad. And that's our enabler, build enabler. Another thing, Firebrand has 10 mana cost because of this node, right? So since we do want to use this one, Blade Reave, we want to have a skill that's 9 or 8 mana or whatever. So we don't want 10 mana on our Firebrand. The only way to decrease mana cost is through efficiency, mana efficiency. Since we cannot get this one on amulets, we need to look for uniques and set items. And this set item is one of the ones we can grab. There is another pair of boots we can grab, but I think the helmet is better because 10% mana efficiency done. We have 9 mana cost on this one, and it procs our Blade Reaving. We get a little bit of void resistance, we get a little bit of armor, but that's not important. And the taunt is really nice because, well, whenever we stun someone, that happens quite often with this one, with the really chunky big Flame Reave hit. So everyone just focuses on us, runs towards us, and we can deal more damage. For the boots, I have this one, but the Stromtide boots are better. I haven't found them. I think they decreased the drop rate for them. Really sucks, but what can I do? A second ring, just get mana regeneration. Like here, I think I have only mana regeneration here and on my amulet, right? Amulet can grab stuff like lightning damage, lightning penetration. It's really strong. Lightning penetration is one of the strongest stats, so really grab this one. Shock chance is really nice, but Stromtide boots would take care of this one with 150%, and I think 46 or something movement speed, so very, very strong. This one has physical resistance and whatever, but there is one with crit multiplier. Since we always crit with Flame Reave, we want a lot of crit multiplier because it's multiplying our multiplier damage, and it's big hits, really strong. Melee attack speed is fine. We get a lot of melee attack speed on this one, but it's more about feeling this one, right? This one needs to hit very fast to get the 3 stacks up, and we can then press this one and have this big chunk of damage. So melee attack speed right here, but we can change some stuff around, so you don't really need the melee attack speed. Like here I got crit multiplier and lightning damage. You also want to balance every stat, right? There is no fixed ratio because depending on the level and how much you already have, it's different, but the swords are extremely strong. It's 400 elemental melee damage up there. That's like 3 or 4 prefixes for lightning damage on our swords. Like you can see here, that's a tier 6 roll, and it's still less than the implicit, so extremely strong. The attack speed roll is also super strong. It's around equivalent to a melee attack speed roll of tier 4 to tier 5, so extremely strong. Base attack speed is also really strong. A little bit of melee lightning damage right here to increase this one, and that's about it. You want to grab something like this with water retention on your implicit. One Flame Reave level is really strong for additional more damage multiplier, but you can grab stuff like increased elemental melee damage, so that's also really strong. Also there is a, I think, Flame Ward charge you can also get here, so that's also really strong. More damage, less damage taken, always good. Like I said, you can find everything in the Lootfilter, so you can look through this one, but that's the basic is get crit multiplier, get a little bit of lightning damage, get the flat damage on your sword and lightning damage on the other. Lightning penetration really strong. Those 2 uniques really enable this build. So the helmet and the ring, you really need them, otherwise this build doesn't function. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video, I hope you liked the content. See you next time, and bye.